Proxies are an interesting market. There are all kinds of sellers of proxies. Some are selling legitimate proxies that have backs or make it very clear that they're proxies. And on the back of them, you know, it says proxy gathering or whatever. And then there's other less savory folks that are making just counterfeit cards. And all these are out there and being used and played with and bought and sold, unfortunately. And proxies have an important role inside of Magic the Gathering. Their benevolent name is playtest cards, right? Because you want to know if a card is viable before you necessarily want to buy it. The reason why playtest cards are used by official Magic teams is because they want to check if a card makes sense to actually print. And so the same kind of luxury exists for us consumers, that if there's a card that we're not sure we want to invest our money in or our time to hunt down, we can print it and test it out that way. And so in that spirit, there are a number of Reddit posts that talk about Momir Vig, or Momir, which is this format. And I found one of these posts. This isn't actually the post that inspired me, but originally, but this is one of them that points out how you can use a thermal printer, and this doesn't use a Raspberry Pi or anything like what I'm going to show you, but you can use the thermal printer and print Magic cards onto black and white onto thermal paper, which is quite nifty. Thermal paper just uses heat. Thermal printers use the heat on thermal paper, and then you can print Magic cards. And so it's quite nifty. It's quite inexpensive. It's easy to do. And so what I was inspired to do, and what these posts kind of led me to create, was this jumbled mess of a kind of contraption. Let me move my face over here so that's easier to see what exactly this is. We have Raspberry Pi that has cords coming out of it that go into a screen, 3 buttons, and a printer, a thermal printer. And let me explain what Momir Basic or Momir Vig, whatever it's called. 2 players, you each get 60 basic lands and an emblem that lets you pay X mana to cast a random creature with that mana value. So it's like this chaotic, fun, casual format where you play one-on-one, and the gimmick is you get random creatures to play. That obviously can't be played very practically in paper unless you are able to just magically get a random creature card with the converted mana cost that you need. So on this screen, I don't think you can see it very well. On the screen, it says, printing, current CMC, and then right now it says 2. Yeah, let me see if that'll focus. Oh, it is kind of focusing. Printing, current CMC 2. So we have these buttons here where you can go back and forth and control what converted mana cost you want. So I'm going to tick it down. So, I got this button here, tick it down to 1 or 0. Well, let's see. Let's go to 1. And then there's a third button. So there you go, current CMC 1. Then there's the third button. You hit it. It says printing on here. And look at that. It's all running off of Python that's on this Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi, by the way, is just like a mini computer. And so we got this nifty little setup that's kind of a gross mess right now, but this nifty little setup that is now printing off a copy of Cathartic Adept, which is 1 blue mana for a human wizard that can tap, and target player puts the top card of his or her library into their graveyard. Very interesting for a format like Momir. It's a 1/1. So that's probably, at least you get a kind of 1/1 that can attack. But this is my playtest card, my proxy. It's quite folded. It's the paper inside of here is just like a tightly wound roll, right? So it makes sense that it's not exactly, talk about that curl. You see Secret Lairs with that kind of curl. Not anymore, actually. Back in the day, man, some Secret Lair foils were real bad, but they're better now, in my opinion. But anyways, so there you go. You got a 1 mana proxy. And then as the game goes on, you play more and more lands, and then you're able to, use these buttons to go and, like, let's say a really long game of Momir Vig, you get converted mana cost 9 and then hit a button, and then a random creature card using all the cards that's data is on this Raspberry Pi, using a random creature card with 9 converted mana cost. So it's pretty, we get a Demon of Death's Gate. That's fun. So you kind of get the idea. It's kind of making a rough sound. What's going on? Oh, is it stuck? Maybe it ran out of paper. I don't know. I'll stop in a minute probably. So you get the idea. Yeah, so it got stuck or something. Not a great showing for this little contraption. Any of you watching can make this better, but you get the idea. This is a fun way to engage with Magic. I actually have played Momir with a friend using this machine, and it was a good time. I won. That's all I remember. So, and the reason I want to make this video is to talk about just how much innovation and opportunity and coolness there is out there to enjoy and explore in Magic the Gathering. A lot of innovation happens on the technology side, which is easy because of vibe coding, right? It's easy because of Claude. You can, by the way, in case you didn't know, if you have an idea for a website that like analyzes Magic cards or commander decks or creates visualizations of what your personality type would be based on what commander you play, you can make all that with Claude in an evening. And I guess $100 to get the like pro version of Claude or whatever, but so that you don't get rate limited. But yeah, you can make it, which is a cool thing. That being said, there's a lot of people out there that can do that, so it's not that special to make a like online web app thing. It's also, like I was showing you on Reddit, not that special to make this. This has been made a number of times by a number of different people that have all shown it off and all deserve credit and kudos for making that. But making something physical is cool. It's fun. And it's fun to know that, besides the one time it breaks, of course, while I'm recording on camera, I've got all these other sheets from, recording and re-recording and things like that when it didn't break. And then of course the one time on camera. Anyways, making something physical is cool. Making something, get a Raspberry Pi, get a circuit board, put this thing together. I had this idea where I was going to like build this, but make it so that it could be a really flexible proxy creator. You could plug in a keyboard and type in a name, and cause you got this mini screen here. You could basically have it be just this mini dinky computer, and then you just type in a name, hit a button, and it would print a proxy of that card. And so now, does anybody need like a portable mobile proxy creator? No. But it's a cool idea. And for a while I was like, I could do this on Kickstarter and make a bunch of money and blah, blah, blah. But that didn't really pan out. My hands are pretty lacking. And so doing things like plugging stuff in and circuit boards and stuff like that is just not my forte. So, the idea is not for me, but it could be for you, or somebody out there. So I was happy to be able to share this little, fun project. And hopefully it inspires somebody to do something cool. So anyways, thanks for watching. Super thanks to my patrons. Thank you for your support and patronage. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace. Subscribe.